Lesson 3. Comparing people or things. In England, we love to compare things to see which one is more of something. We use comparative adjectives to do this. The golden rule. When you compare two things, you usually use the word than. Example, a bus is bigger than a car. How to make a comparison, grammar factly. Instead of a table, here is a simple guide on how to change your words. 1. For short words, one syllable.
Just add to the end. Tall becomes taller. Example, my big brother is taller than me. Short becomes shorter. 2. For short words that end with a vowel and a consonant, double the last letter and add Big becomes bigger. Thin becomes thinner. 3. For words that end in Y, take away the Y and add IER. Happy becomes happier. Greedy becomes greedier. Don't be a greedy Gus with the biscuits. 4. For long words, 2 or more syllables. The word stays the same, but we put more in front of it. Popular becomes more popular. Exciting becomes more exciting. Example, the circus is more exciting than the library. 5. The rule breakers, irregular words. These words change completely. You just have to learn them by heart. Good becomes better. Bad becomes worse. Far becomes farther or further. A kid's Englishly tip, the vowels.
To be a whiz at spelling, you must remember the 5 vowels A, E, I, O, U. Factly. The letter I is a vowel, and it is also the 9th letter of the English alphabet. A little English comparison challenge. Think about your favorite treats. Which comparison sounds right to you? Chocolate is better than fruit. A puppy is cuter than a kitten. A giant castle is bigger than my house. Question: if you had to pick, do you think a summer holiday is more exciting than a winter holiday? Page 18, the comparison challenge. 1. Changing adjectives to comparatives. Remember our rules from page 17? Let's transform these words. Busy, busier, like London traffic. Careless, more careless. Cheerful, more cheerful. Fat, fatter. Fit, fitum. Friendly, friendlier. Helpful, helpfuler. Wait, it's actually more helpful. Don't let the school dust trick you. High, higher. Hot, hotter. Interesting, more interesting. Lazy, lazier. Old, older. Pretty, prettier. Sad, sadder. Slim, slimmer. Small, smaller. Talkative, more talkative. Ugly, uglier.
Wet, wetter, like a rainy day in Manchester. Young, younger. 2. Look and compare. Let's use our new words to describe these English scenes. The grandfathers. My grandfather is happier than my grandmother. Look at his big smile. The houses. Unyan's cottage is bigger than Ukya's cottage. The map. Oxford is farther from London than Windsor is. Page 19. Making sentences. 3. 2 sentences into 1. Let's combine these ideas using our comparative magic. Hardworking. Harry is more hardworking than Peter. Slim. Sophie is slimmer than Sarah. Beautiful. The rose garden is more beautiful than the park. Lazy. The tabby cat is lazier than the puppy. Talkative. My aunt is more talkative than my uncle. Short-tempered. The grumpy baker is more short-tempered than the grocer. Funny. The clown is funnier than the magician. The postman is more cheerful than the milkman. The prince is more humble than the duke. Border collies are more intelligent than many other dogs. A kid's factly tip: careless versus carefree. In England, we use these 2 words very differently. Careless, when you don't pay attention, like forgetting your umbrella. Carefree, A happy feeling when you have no worries at all, like the first day of summer holidays. Let's compare. Look at these two English treats, a fizzy drink and a cup of tea. Factly, the tea is hotter than the fizzy drink, but the fizzy drink is bubbly, more bubbly. Look at the pictures and see if you got these right. My grandfather is older than my grandmother. The cottage is bigger than the garden shed. London is farther or further from Manchester than Windsor is. Newcastle is colder than London. A diamond ring is more expensive than a biscuit. Exercise 3, combining sentences. Sophie is slimmer than Sarah. The rose garden is more beautiful than the car park. The tabby cat is lazier than the puppy. My uncle is more talkative than my aunt. The grumpy baker is more short-tempered than the grocer. My younger sister is funnier than my elder brother. The postman is more cheerful than the milkman. The prince is more humble or humbler than the duke. Border collies are more intelligent than many other dogs. Page 21, Lesson 4, a personal profile. In England, a personal profile is like a little poster all about you. It helps people get to know your name, your hobbies, and your dreams. 1. Match the questions with the answers. Imagine you are meeting a new friend at a school in London. Can you match these? What's your name? My name is Charlie. How do you spell it? Charlie. What's your nationality? I am British. What's your date of birth? 2nd June 2014. What are your hobbies? I love football, drawing, and playing video games. Where do you live? I live at number 10, High Street, Oxford. What kind of person are you? I am creative and hardworking. What will you be in 10 years' time? I want to be a pilot. 3. Meet Lucy, a sample profile. Let's read about a student named Lucy and see how she writes her profile. My name is Lucy. I am British. My father is an architect and my mother is a nurse. I was born on 15th March 2014. I am an only child, so I don't have any siblings. I am 4 feet 10 inches tall. My hobbies are swimming and playing the violin. In my free time, I like to read mystery books. I am a diligent student. My favorite sport is tennis. I live in a cozy house in Cambridge. You can call me on my mobile if you want to play tennis. Kids Factly, the only child. In the story, Lucy says she's an only child. This is a special English term for someone who has no brothers or sisters. They get all the toys to themselves, but they have to be very good at making friends at school. Question: if you were making your own personal profile today, what is the #1 hobby you would want everyone to know about? Page 22, my personal application. In England, when you want to join a library or a sports club, you have to fill out an application form. Here is how you would do it. Application form practice. Name, e.g., Oliver Smith. Nationality, e.g., British. Date of birth, e.g., 12th August 2014. Father's name, e.g., Mr. William Smith. Grade, in England, we say year 7 or year 8. Height, e.g., 145 centimeters. Hobbies, e.g., playing cricket and baking. Kind of person, e.g., friendly and helpful. Address, e.g., 42 Bluebell Lane, Manchester. Contact number, e.g., 07700900123. Kids Factly, talking about birthdays. The book mentions birth. In England, we use these phrases to be very kidly cutely. I was born on. Always use this for your birthday. Date of birth, the formal way to say your birthday on a form. Inborn character, a fancy way to say the personality you were born with, like being naturally bubbly. Page 23, joining the club. 4. Library membership. Let's help a boy named Harry fill out his library form. Instead of a table, here is his summary. My name is Harry. I'm British. I live at number 15 Rosewood Close, London. My father is Mr. Arthur Jones. I was born on 10th October 2014. I'm in year 7. I'm interested in science and space. My hobbies are gardening and drawing. I can be contacted on 07-123 456789.
Time, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., just after tea time. What you get, experienced coaches and life-saving skills. Safety, there are always lifeguards, security guards for the water to keep you safe. Price, £15 per month. In England, we use pounds. Your kid's Gemini task. Imagine you are writing an application for the swimming club. Can you complete this sentence?
My name is blank. I want to join the swimming club because I want to be a blank swimmer. Height. In England, we use 2 ways to measure how tall you are. How tall are you? Talking to a friend. What is your height? Writing on a form. Gemini tip. Remember, if you are the only child in your house, you are the only son or only daughter. It makes you very special. See you on the next page. Keep up the brilliant work. England star. Page 24. My Little Dictionary. This page is like a treasure chest of phrases we have learned. In England, we call these phrases and collocations. They are groups of words that love to stay together. Creative and theater phrases. Dedicated to his art. When a performer works very hard because they love their craft. The ability to create. Having a wonderful imagination to make new things. While dancing on the stage. Performing in front of an audience. Choreography. The special dance map that tells dancers where to move. Form and school phrases. Date of birth. Your very special day. Ask for information. When you want to find out something new by asking politely.
The membership application form. The paper you fill out to join a fun club, like the Dolphin Swimming Club. Unit 2, Lesson 1, Keeping Good Habits. Now we are moving into a brand new unit all about being the best version of ourselves. Talking about habits. In England, we try to break bad habits and keep good ones. Good habit, saying please and thank you. Bad habit, talking while the teacher is talking. We call this chattering in class. Vocabulary and listening. Match the habit. Look at the pictures and let's find the right English name for these habits. Notebook habit. Always keeping a little book to write down your brilliant ideas. Correction habit. Checking your work to fix any little wobbles. Questioning habit. Being a curious cat and asking why and how. Dictionary habit. Looking up new words in a big book to become a word whiz. Revision habit. Looking over your lessons again so you remember them by heart. Cleaning up habit. Keeping your desk and room tidy. It's very spick and span. Saying please and thank you habit. Having top-notch English manners. A kid's Factly moment. The dictionary. Did you know that the first big English dictionary was written by a man named Samuel Johnson in London a long, long time ago? Now we have many kinds of word books. Dictionary tells you what a word means. Thesaurus gives you sister words, synonyms that mean the same thing. Encyclopedia, a giant book full of facts about the whole world. Your Kids Englishly Challenge. Which good habit do you think is the most important for a student? Is it the dictionary habit or the cleaning up habit? I think being spick and span is great, but being a word whiz is splendid too. Page 26, Listening and Learning. On this page, we listen to a story about the 7 good habits. Since we are in our English classroom, let's fill in the missing words using our word whiz powers. 2. Listen and complete the text. Here are the 7 good habits. Acquire them. The dictionary habit. Get a dictionary for yourself. Beg, borrow, or buy. Always keep it by you. Use it to find out the pronunciation, spelling, or meaning of a word. The notebook habit. Keep a little notebook. Always carry it with you. Put down in it the words or points you wish to remember. The revision habit. Revision means looking again at a thing. After you have written anything, always read it through again carefully to see that there is no mistake. The correction habit. When you find anything wrong in what you have written, cross it out boldly and then write the correct form just H above it. The questioning habit. If you don't know, ask. Ask our teacher, your friend, or in fact, anybody who is older or wiser than yourself. Ask yourself questions too and find out the answers for yourself. If you cannot find the answers, then ask somebody else. Page 27, Speaking and Tidying Up, the final habits. The cleaning habit. Clean up your study table or your room or your classroom after you. If everyone has the habit of cleaning up, the environment will be cleaner and we will be healthier. The saying please and thank you habit. Always be polite to everyone. Say please when you ask someone to do something for you. Say thank you when someone does something for you or helps you or gives you something. Everyone loves a polite person. Find someone who. In an English school, we love to play games to get to know our classmates. You can walk around the room and ask, who has the dictionary habit? If they do, they say, I do. If they don't, they say, not yet, but I'm trying. Let's look for someone who has the revision habit, goes to bed early and wakes up early, a early bird, reads every day, a bookworm, takes exercise every day, puts things in their right place, spick and span, writes an essay once a week. 4. Talk about your family's habits. In England, we are very proud of our families. Here is how you can talk about them. My grandpa reads the newspaper after having breakfast. My mum always says thank you to the postman. My brother always cleans up his football boots after a match. A kid's factly tip: beg, borrow, or buy. This is a very old English saying. It means that if you really want to learn something, like using a dictionary, you should find any way possible to get the tool you need. Question: out of all 7 habits, which one do you think would make your teacher the happiest? The notebook habit or the saying please and thank you habit? Page 28, Word Fun and Answers. Before we start the new lesson, let's look at some brilliant word facts from the top of your page. News. Did you know some people think the word news comes from the 4 directions? North, east, west, and south. It means information coming from everywhere. Breakfast. This is a funny word. It means to break your fast, the time you didn't eat while sleeping. In England, we love a good bowl of porridge or toast for breakfast. Lunch. This is our midday meal. If you combine breakfast and lunch because you woke up late on a Saturday, we call it brunch. Top tip. On the bottom of page 28, you can see the answer key for the 7 good habits we did on page 26. Use your correction habit to see if you got them all right. Page 29, Lesson 2, Getting Rid of Bad Habits. In England, we say we want to get rid of things that aren't good for us. This lesson helps us spot naughty habits so we can swap them for splendid ones. What is a habit? A habit is something we do often and regularly, sometimes without even thinking. Factly. Some people crack their knuckles or twiddle a pen when they are thinking hard. Do you have a thinking habit? Spotting the bad habits. Let's read the 3 examples from the book and see why they are a bit rubbish. The snack attack. Munching on too many crisps, potato chips, or peanuts. Why it's bad? It has too much salt and fat. It's much better to have a piece of fruit. The loud music. Listening to very loud music for hours, especially with headphones. Why it's bad? It can hurt your ears. We want to keep our hearing top-notch so we can hear birds singing.
The litter bug, leaving your rubbish behind after a picnic in the park. Why it's bad. It makes our beautiful English countryside look messy and hurts the animals. Always put your litter in the bin. Kids Factly, manners matter. The book reminds us that being polite, thankful, and kind are the best habits of all. In England, we call this having good breeding or just being a good egg. Bad habits to get rid of. Smoking. This is very bad for your lungs. Using naughty or dirty language. Being greedy. Your kids' Gemini challenge. Imagine you are at a beautiful park in London having a picnic. You finish your sandwich and have a little bit of paper left. What is the splendid thing to do? A. Leave it on the grass for the fairies to find. B. Put it in your pocket or a bin to keep the park clean. Which one would a diligently clean student choose? Page 30, the nitty-gritty on habits. This page explains the how and why of our daily actions. In England, we say that habits are things we do now and then, or even whenever we aren't paying attention. Vocabulary spot. Understanding the whys. Unknowingly, doing something without being aware of it, like a sleepyhead. Twiddle. Moving something around in your fingers, like a pen, while you think seriously about your homework. Munch. To chew or crunch on something loudly, like a crunchy apple or some crisps. Health Factly. The potato chip trap. The book tells us that if we munch on too many potato chips, we call them crisps in England, as a habit, our bodies take in too much starch and fat. The lesson, eating too many crisps can harm our health. It's much brilliant to have a balanced snack. Page 31, character and care. This page has a very famous Factly quote about what is truly important in life. The golden rule of wealth and health. In England, we often learn this little poem to remember our priorities. When wealth is lost, nothing is lost. When health is lost, something is lost. When character is lost, all is lost. Character means who you are inside, being honest, kind, and a good egg. Protecting your ears. The book gives us a very sound piece of advice about music. Loud music. Listening to loud music for hours is not good for our ears. The result? Doing this for a long time can lead to total loss of hearing. The solution? You may decide to use earphones, but keep the volume at a gentle level so you don't annoy others around you. Kids Factly! Being a considerate neighbor. In England, being considerate means thinking about the people around you. If you play your music too loud, you might disturb your neighbors or your cat. Good habit. Keep your tunes at a level that only you can hear. Your Kids Gemini Challenge. We learn that when character is lost, everything is lost. Which of these shows top-notch character? A. Telling the truth even if you accidentally broke a biscuit. B. Hiding the biscuit crumbs under the rug. Which one makes you a historic hero of honesty? Page 32. The perfect picnic. In England, we love a picnic in the park, but we have to follow the country code to keep everything beautiful. Vocabulary for a great day out. Go on a picnic. A lovely trip to the countryside or a park with a basket of food. Take along, bringing things with you, like your favorite snacks. Good food, nutritious things that help you grow big and strong. Don't be a litter bug. When it's time to go home, some people leave behind empty drink cans or sandwich wrappers. This is called littering, and it is a very bad habit. The rule: please throw rubbish into the dustbin. In England, we say, take your rubbish home with you if the bin is full. Page 33, Staying Healthy and Wise. This page helps us understand why we must get rid of bad habits to stay safe. Things to avoid, the naughty list. Using dirty language, saying unkind or rude words is a bad habit. Illegal drugs. These are very dangerous and not allowed by the law. Match the meanings. Exercise 3. Let's use our word whiz powers to match these words. Blink, to shut and open your eyes quickly. Munch, to eat something steadily and often noisily. Harm, to cause damage. Disturb, to make someone stop giving something for a short time. Empty, with no people or things inside. Illegal, not allowed by the law. Starch, a white carbohydrate found in potatoes and rice. Fat, a solid or liquid substance from animals or plants. Generous, giving or willing to give freely. Kids Factly, being polite and generous. Being polite, thankful, generous, and kind are the best habits you can have. In England, we say, manners maketh man, which means being kind is what makes you a truly great person. Your Kids Gemini Final Challenge. Imagine you see someone drop a crisp packet on the grass at the park. What would a polite and helpful student do? A. Point and shout, "You're a litterbug." Gently pick it up and put it in the bin, showing them the right way to do it. Which one shows your top-notch English character? Page 34, Becoming a Habit Hero. 4. Matching phrases to meanings. Let's match these phrases like we're solving a fun puzzle. Now and then. E. Sometimes. On end. D. Continuously, like when Ains in London for days. Have a good feed. A. Eat as much as we like. Dirty language. C. Rude language. Get rid of. B. Throw away. 5. Fill in the blanks. Word power. Use the words we learned to make these sentences top-notch. People eat rice, which is rich in starch. Don't disturb your dad. He is very busy now. My grandmother is generous. She always gives food and clothing to the poor. Clever students avoid taking illegal drugs. There is nothing inside the bottle. It is empty. Don't blink your eyes very often. I often munch potato chips, crisps, while doing my homework. You should stop smoking. It can harm your health. Eating food containing too much fat can cause heart diseases. 6. Short answer challenge. Show off your brilliant memory with these answers. Question. What do people do while thinking seriously? Answer. Some people crack their knuckles, twiddle a pen, or blink. Question. Is eating a lot of potato chips, crisps, good or bad? Why? It is bad because our bodies take in too much starch and fat, which can harm our health. Question. What can lead to loss of hearing? Listening to loud music for hours on end. Question. What do people usually leave behind after a picnic? They often leave litter like empty cans, cups, and plates. Starch secret. In England, we love potatoes, but as we learned on this page, potatoes are full of starch. Starch gives you energy, but if you eat too much, especially in greasy crisps, it's not very splendid for your tummy. Your Kids Gemini Final Habit Check. For the last question on page 34, you have to write down 2 of your own habits. Are they good habits, like saying thank you, or bad habits, like munching too many sweets? Tell me one good habit you want to keep forever. Gook, 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 gook. Page 36. Adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency tell us how often someone does something. In our English classroom, we put these words before the main action. 1. Underline the adverbs. Charlie usually goes swimming. He is never late for school. He is always interested in sports. He hardly watches TV. He often reads in bed at night. Kids Factly, the hardly secret. In England, if we say someone hardly does something, it means they almost never do it. It's a very polite way of saying almost 0 times. Example. It hardly ever snows in London in July. 2. Spot the mistake. Let's fix these sentences so they sound perfectly English. Sophie arrives home usually at 5 p.m. Sophie usually arrives home at 5 p.m. George and his brother are late often. George and his brother are often late. She uses curry powder never in cooking. She never uses curry powder in cooking. We eat hardly out. We hardly ever eat out. She is patient always. She is always patient. Page 37, present simple versus present continuous. This is a brilliant bit of grammar. Present simple for things that happen all the time, like I live in Oxford. Present continuous for things happening right now, like I am eating a biscuit. Choosing the correct verb. Oliver plays football every Monday. He is playing tennis at the moment. What are you reading? A detective story. I don't usually read horror stories, but this one is good. Mrs. Smith doesn't drink tea because she doesn't like it. They go to the cinema every month. Now they are watching a comedy film. Daisy is looking after her little brother today, but she doesn't look after him usually. Arthur usually gets up early, but he is staying in bed late today as he has a headache. 4. Put the words in order. The annoying habit. In England, if we use always with an ing verb, it means the habit is a bit annoying. My mom is always cooking fish. My elder sister is always forgetting to return the things she borrows. Harry and William are always playing computer games. My brothers are always complaining about the weather. My uncle is always complaining about his neighbors. Star, Kids Factly. Morning sickness? The book mentions morning sickness. In English culture, this is a special way to describe how a mummy feels when there's a tiny baby growing in her tummy. It usually happens in the morning, which is why it has that funny name. Your Kids Englishly Challenge. We learned about annoying habits today. Do you have a friend who is always losing their pencil? Or a brother who is always singing in the shower? Tell me one annoying but funny habit someone you know has. Page 38. Spotting the bother. 5a. Match the phrases with the pictures. Look at the pictures of the children and let's match their naughty habits. Borrowing others' pens. Harry is doing this. He never has his own stationery. Picking her nose. Oh dear, George, that's not very hygienic. Gossiping. Daisy and Sophie are whispering secrets. This can be a bit unkind. Snapping his or her fingers. Freddie is making a click sound over and over. Teasing animals. Leo is bothering the cat. In England, we are very kind to animals. 5b. Writing annoying habit sentences. Let's use our grammar rule. Subject plus bis bor are plus always plus ing verb. Harry is always borrowing other people's pens. George is always picking his nose. Daisy and Sophie are always gossiping. Freddie is always snapping his fingers. Leo is always teasing animals. Jack is always whistling in the library. Page 39, the answer key and more habits. Vocabulary check. Neighbors. In England, we live in houses or flats next to our neighbors. Friendly neighbor. Someone who says good morning and helps you. Terrible neighbor. Someone who is always making too much noise. Neighboring countries. Countries that are right next door, like Scotland and Wales are next to England. Grammar review. Answer key. Take out your green pen and check your work. Exercise 1. We use words like usually, never, always, and hardly to show frequency. Exercise 2. Remember, the frequency word goes before the action, e.g., she never uses. Exercise 3. He is playing tennis at the moment, right now. Starkey Kids Factly, the stationery rule. In British schools, we call pens, pencils, and rulers stationery. A very good habit is to always have your own pencil case ready, so you aren't always borrowing from your friends. It's much more splendid to be prepared. Your Kids Gemini Final Challenge. Look at the picture on the bottom of page 39.
The boy is pulling the girl's hair.
Can you use our annoying habit rule to describe what he is doing? He is always blank his sister's hair. Is he helping, brushing, or pulling? Pick the annoying one. Page 40, Weekend Activities and Habits. Let's look at the pictures and match the people to their habits. In an English school, we often talk about what our family and teachers do during their time off. 1. Matching the sentence parts. My father always buys me good books because he wants me to be a real bookworm. My teacher is always giving us a lot of homework, which means I spend my Saturday morning at my desk. Daisy usually borrows my calculator because she's a bit forgetful with her school bag. Mom usually cleans the back room to keep our house spick and span. Uncle Arthur often plays loud music, which sometimes bothers the neighbors. George is always teasing me, but he's just being a cheeky younger brother. Page 41, Sorting Your Habits. When we talk about habits in England, we try to keep the good ones and get rid of the bad ones. 2. Charlie's profile. Charlie is a diligent student with some top-notch habits. For instance, he usually gets up early and takes physical exercise every day to stay fit. However, he has a couple of naughty habits too. He eats a lot of junk food, we call them crisps and sweets, and he is always clicking his pen, which really annoys his teachers in class. George is a student who loves his weekends. His favorite day is Friday because school finishes and he can ride his bike with his mates. He has to be very careful, though, because cars go quite fast on the roads in London. On Saturday, George starts his day by going for a run with his father. In the afternoon, he might draw some pictures or tidy up his bedroom so he can find his toys. By the evening, he's ready to relax and watch a bit of TV, before visiting his grandparents. On Sunday, George likes to be helpful. He helps his mom in the kitchen in the morning, perhaps helping with a Sunday roast dinner. In the afternoon, he usually heads to the local park to play football with his friends. They might have a little quarrel over a goal, but they always get over it quickly. After tea, he listens to some music and finishes his homework before heading to bed at 10 p.m. sharp. Play versus play with. In England, we use these words differently depending if we are competing or cooperating. Play you. I will play you at tennis. This means you are trying to win a match. Play with you. I will play with my friends. This means you are having fun together, like building a fort or playing with dolls. Question: if you were like George, would you rather spend your Sunday afternoon playing football with friends or reading a brilliant story? Page 42. Charlie's splendid weekend. Charlie is a diligent Year 7 student who loves his time off. Here's how he spends a typical weekend in England. Friday evening. As soon as school finishes, he hops on his bicycle and goes for a ride with his mates. He is always very careful because the roads can be quite busy with cars. Saturday morning. He starts the day bright and early by going for a run with his father. It's a great way to wake up. Saturday afternoon. Charlie is quite spick and span, so he spends time tidying his room. If he finishes early, he loves to sit down and draw some pictures. Saturday evening, this is a relaxing time. He often watches a bit of TV, or goes to visit his grandparents for a nice chat. Sunday morning, he enjoys helping his mom in the kitchen. They might even be preparing a traditional Sunday roast dinner. Sunday afternoon, you'll usually find him at the local park. He reads his favorite stories or plays a game of football with his friends. They occasionally have a little disagreement, over a goal, but they always make up quickly. Page 43, Words and Writing. Brilliant phrases to remember. In our English classroom, we call these phrases and collocations. They are groups of words that just fit together. Single-use things, items you use once and then throw away. We try to avoid these to help the planet. Total loss of hearing, when someone cannot hear anything at all because of loud noises. get over something, to feel better after being sad or having a little argument.
In the late afternoon, the time just before tea when the sun starts to go down. Now and then, an English way of saying sometimes. Charlie's diary entry.
I am a year 7 student. I have both good habits and some naughty ones too. My favorite hobby is drawing. In my leisure time, I often draw pictures of the countryside. Before bedtime, I always read a bit of my book. I know that overeating and playing too many computer games are bad habits that are hard to resist, but I try my best to avoid them and stick to my good habits instead. Kids Factly, the weekend.
In England, we have 2 different ways to talk about the weekend. At the weekend is what we say here in the UK. On the weekend is what our friends in America usually say. Both are correct, but at the weekend sounds very British. Your Kids Englishly Challenge. If you had to choose one activity from Charlie's Sunday, would you rather help in the kitchen or play football with your mates?